In many podcasts, you get presented by someone else. But I think what we are exploring here is the true self. And I think that other people have opinions about who you are. But no one knows it better than you.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty difficult question, maybe. But I think that we can start to explore it.
Yes.
And the first question is then, who is Divya?
Wow. And you gave me such a lead into thinking about that question. And I really love how you described. It's extremely valuable to me that you see me as someone who's at least attempting to be holistic in existence, in that sense. And that is perhaps, it's very new. It's not how I have been. So if I have to describe, then it's been, I'm 40 now. It's been a 40-year journey of helping the different compartments that I have held tight separate. And allow them to meet each other and flow into one another a little bit. So that is a very, very strong part of me, you could say, strong aspect of me, consciously trying to break the walls between different parts of me. That's something I think is a good intro.
Yeah, it's very interesting to understand where you have been and and how you come here.
I said to set a little context or exemplify, because if someone is listening to this, it might feel like super vague or super out there hippie-like, but it's not what I mean. It's in a very, very day-to-day context. I think each of us, we have probably multiple handles, some kind of social media handles, how we present ourselves at work. Who you are with your partner, who you are with your child, who you are with your friends. Of course, we are different. We have different facets. But in our brains, in the way we think, in the way I speak to myself, or you speak to yourself, and how true and whole are we in our conversations with ourselves. And I was just take an example. I think it was a year ago or so. If I was just reflecting, what I am willing to share on, if we say LinkedIn, or what I share on an Instagram handle, and what I write in my blog. If someone were to look at it, it would seem like they're all different people until probably 3-4 years ago. Because I held very, very tight boundaries between that they do not flow into one another. That was more important to me than, how does it matter that if you run into a coworker or a friend, if they meet each other, how does it matter, right? It's a healthy mix of your communities. So in that sense, it's been it's something that is a process that I am on, or a journey I'm on, that the different parts of me, if you were to read now, I identify myself as some sort of creative person, artist, dancer, writer. I like to absorb and hopefully someday tell stories. And I am learning how to use that in my work. Right? So it's a healthy meeting in the middle of the two. So this is an ongoing process and a very big part of me. So if I have to introduce myself, then it's someone on a pursuit to help different parts of her meet each other.
That's beautiful. And it sounds like I have many questions on this, but first it sounds like you would have presented yourself in a different way a couple of years back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that you are getting more and more integrated with your true self.
Yeah. And I think understanding I guess it's a way to say integrated with my true self, or the parts are getting integrated. Who knows what is the true self?
Oh, exactly. That's a good question.
Right. So yes, it's more and more integrated for sure. And then it is revealing itself. So that's yeah.
Yeah. So many
side
questions on this. The question is how we should, but now it's about you. Let's see then. But maybe if I take this question, have you felt that you have had different kind of masks on you when you have been in different kind of
yes
situations?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, simplest. I was talking about this with someone this morning. It's a little bit of how I process or I think about. I guess a lot of us now, there's a lot of info, you can read, there's so much more knowledge and awareness about being on the spectrum or with different kinds of personalities and neurodivergence and whatnot. But very early on, I speak to myself a lot, and I do not know if I am on a spectrum. I could be, but very mildly so. But it's been this ugly duckling sort of phenomena. I guess all of us in some way feel that we are different because we are all unique, and then I'm sure that everyone in their own ways, even the most popular individuals, I think in their own ways have experienced situations where they feel they don't belong, right? When we are growing up, and then this whole concept of fitting in versus belonging and so on. So I have always felt that I've been told I am different a lot when I was a kid, difficult to understand. But then she's different. Right? Different how, and is different bad, or so I've always felt there is some kind of depth I seem to hold that is either intimidating to others, but then from where I stand, I've always felt that, but if you only invested 10 minutes to just sit down and talk to me, I would tell you everything. Right? So you have to find this you come across, I guess, at some point in life, but then till the time that you come to that community which is open to seeing you and understanding you and accepting you, you carry parts which you are a little bit either due to shame or fear or for whatever reason that you do not know if that is going to be received. And what you're afraid is not going to be received, we tend to hide. Or if it's going to raise a conflict, then you put them away. So in that sense, in very many different ways, for very many different reasons, sometimes just for my own survival, or sometimes to get what I actually want, I mask. And I think I had become so good at masking that I cannot even tell myself the difference when I'm not. So I had become really adept, so good at masking, and when I'm with a certain crowd, I can kind of really come across. I could do it. I cannot do it anymore.
No, but you could.
But then, if on the other hand, if you spoke to people who knew me, they would probably not agree in my late 20s or 30s because there's always been a certain rebellious nature, or there are certain core things that I would never sacrifice. So maybe on a relative scale, perhaps I wasn't as much as others, but I have carried this deep sort of misconception that everyone is sort of built and responds the similar ways somehow. So it could be that if you meet people who have been around me and have seen me close, they might give you a different answer. That no, you were not masking. No, you were but great. We really saw you as someone who stands out and is not afraid to stand out. But they're not mutually exclusive.
No.
just because I do it, it doesn't mean that I am showing all of me.
No, exactly.
So masking is one part of it, in the sense that depending on the situation or the place or the kind of people I'm around, I choose to show parts that I feel they can handle.
So you adapt how you are, depending on who you are talking to.
But it's also that, okay, so who sees all of you? And if you are not ever all of you, we ourselves can tend to forget all of us as a whole.
Oh, yes.
Because we have broken ourselves into parts. So that compartment and compartmentalization. So it's, I guess, a combination of the two, masking and compartmentalization. So for sure I have.
And I think, and it seems like it was something that happened to you when you were a kid, when you were a child, that you heard all these things about that you were different.
Yeah. It's.
Can you remember what happened inside you when that happened? Do you have those memories, or how is it?
I mean, you have a notion. So I guess I have a notion, and a lot of it is self-construct, because, and this is a little bit of also my. I like to write and read and understand a little bit about how memory and how we remember things. It's super interesting in the sense that it's a construct, it's a narrative. Now, in that narrative, how I remember the narrative need not necessarily be someone else's truth.
That's right.
So in the truth that I think I lived, so which means that it's a narrative I carried until maybe, let's say, 2-3 years ago. It's a contextual narrative in the community that I grew up in the environment I grew up in the society I grew up in. So it's a very, the setup is coming from a very strong patriarchal and sort of orthodox family and raising. And being different in the sense, it's been that I was perceived as someone who always had a strong opinion, had a depth of understanding, had courage, was actually surprising to others. That I could, even in a very young age, I could hold my own in terms of, is this right or wrong? So there is an internal compass that was just extremely strong.
I recognize that.
And that internal compass, I guess, is not easy for others to understand. Why would you have it, or what motivates you to have it? And and I mean, it's not like I was old enough to understand it myself and explain it, or so on. So it's just the narrative in my head is understanding people around me in a certain way, and making sure that I am not in someone else's way. So I might have been giving, living, and investing in a way that I thought the narrative required me to, not because I was asked to. So I choose to give not because I'm asked, because I feel that that's expected of me in a situation. Or so it's a combination of all of these things. Is very strong internal compass, a sense of morality, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But my sense of morality, what I thought. A spirit of judgment and all of that, I think I had a little bit early on in my childhood. And then I have recognized this. I mean, my mother and I, we have had conversations, and now it's a lot more easy. But at the time, I think it has been very difficult to relate to each other simply because we are built so differently. And it can happen in our own closest circles, right? Your siblings, your parents. We genetically, yes, we carry the basic construct, but we are not built necessarily to respond in similar ways. And when we respond differently, then it can be challenging to understand and accept and process and so on. So this combination, both at home and then in society. I grew up in Kerala in India, in a small town, what was then really a small town, so don't laugh at me. It's not about the number of people. I have said this to others. The smallness comes not from the physical size, but in access. In access, in mindset and so on. So I grew up in that kind of environment, and that is probably not uncommon for the late 80s and early 90s. And so this somehow the person I was with myself internally, and I loved to read and understand, and I was curious, and I had dreams which seemed to be very different to others. I thought of, I dreamt about the rest of the world and was curious about the world and so on. So that sets you apart in some ways and makes it difficult to find a tribe that recognizes a similar feeling. So it's that's a narrative that has shaped a lot of my inner beliefs in some sense.
And what did that do to you? Was it like you were searching for your tribe, or did you feel that no, I can handle myself?
I think that is probably the other factor. I've not really actively searched. I've been a very sustainable and self-sufficient individual. Of course, in your teen years, you want a circle of friends, and I had it. I had really a group of people that I could have fun with. So there was no problem. And I, of course, had friends with whom I have shared very close relationships in my teen years. But even then, I don't think that I have felt necessary to show all of me. And they probably have not even realized that I'm not showing all of me.
No.
So I had a very fun and extremely active teen years and so on, but I've never actively tried to find a tribe who should see me. I have not even felt or recognized that it is a possibility to be seen incomplete. That recognition, I think, comes to me much later, probably post my 30s. Till then, it's a little bit of this fictional notion, maybe things that you would read in stories. But I never felt or I never sought or thought that I could be seen completely.
No. And did that mean that you didn't even long for it? Or did you have an inner...
I don't think I longed for it, but there have been occasions where, the response to... I think it happened after my child was born. So it's probably in the period... I had a very long postpartum. So to understand that it's postpartum depression, and in that period is the first time in my life that I felt I was just not seen at all. And then in that combination of postpartum depression and not being understood, and okay, why would you be sad now? Is what my mother asked. How could you be sad now? You have a beautiful, wonderful child, healthy and happy and so on. So it's probably the first time I realized that, but nobody sees me for who I am completely. So then I did. I really longed to be just seen as the person I am, and to be able to share to at least one other human and show who I am. I don't think, even if that person had appeared in front of me, now be it my partner in the right mindset or my parent, I don't think I knew how to do it though.
No. Because you have never been in that situation before.
Exactly. So it's got nothing to do with the fact that there wasn't someone to show it to. It was all about the fact that I wasn't ready and I did not know how to do it.
But your journey started there.
Exactly. So that is maybe the first time I was honest to myself. That I would like to be seen, and I would like to be understood, and I would like to tell what I feel to people that I felt I needed to say it to. So that is the beginning.
Yeah. And I'm happy that you had that beginning, actually. I mean, there are people that will never come to that position at all. And I'm very curious about the rest of the journey then, finding your true self, or accepting or actually loving the whole of you. Because I think that that's a part of it as well, that you yourself love yourself.
Yes, I think
fully.
It's the biggest part.
All aspects of you.
Yes.
The light ones and the bright ones and the dark side as well.
I mean, I have always, when you talk about the dark side in specific, I've always felt that I have I've been very comfortable with my dark side. I've known, and it's funny how you introduce me as light and bright. I've always, if someone had to describe or ask me to tell in person, in confidence, not in public like this, now I can, but a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think I was very comfortable or very truthful about my dark side and my shadow, if we call it like that.
Yeah.
I think I had a lot of I came close to my dark side much easier than my bright side. I think usually it's maybe the other way for most people.
Yeah, for me it's definitely the other way around.
Yeah, but it's much easier for me to accept my dark side than it is to accept my bright side. And I mean, it's not unusual. I think all of us have a dark side. It's different temperaments.
Everyone.
It's instincts. It's how responses, right? How you respond to situations, people.
Yeah, your triggers and all the issues that you have, that everyone has.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been somehow very close friends with it. I think around 4 or 5 years. I can't tell you exactly why or describe it, but I've been really close friends with my dark side all through. I'm aware I have it. I know what will trigger it. And when the triggers are happening in front of me, I know this, it's like two people inside me having a conversation that, now it's going to come out, and it does come out. And I've never controlled it or tried to regulate it or anything like that.
No, okay.
And it's always burst, and people closest to me, not everyone sees it. It's probably 4 to 5 people in my entire life who have witnessed it, and multiple times as well. The entire outburst for various. It could be feelings of abandonment, which is my biggest trigger. Right, so and it's very easily triggered too, and I have had that from very, very early. I think about 4.5 years old. It's that one is extremely easy to trigger. Yeah, has been in the past. Now it's very, very hard. But
a question here: do you know why you have that abandonment wound?
I mean, I think I can invent a narrative, to be perfectly honest. And then here it's also now my background. I am Indian, born in a very family built with a lot of belief, and in an environment where we have easy access to spirituality and belief systems and narratives, which is... which tells you things which maybe the Western philosophy or society is not tuned into. And the concept that you have wounds does not necessarily mean that the wounds come from now or particularly was created by anyone. They're just wounds. They're there.
They're there. So for you it doesn't matter when it came or why.
No.
You know that you have them.
Yeah. And that is how I answer today. I have no way to know how I might have answered 5 years ago. I might have tried to point, or I might have tried to hold someone else accountable, or some event accountable, or find reasoning and logic towards understanding why it is there. That is what maybe has changed. I do not need to know why.
No.
I do not need to know who caused it.
No.
I don't need someone else to solve it. Now I lost thread of how we got here, but yeah, this
the dark, the shadows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this has been. I mean, it can be something as simple as I have a sibling younger, 4 years old. 4 years younger than me. Oh, that would be very strange to have a 4-year-old sibling.
That's not the case.
No, I have a 13-year-old daughter. So no, my sibling, she is 4 years younger to me. It could be as simple as this normal.
That she came into your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary. It's so I do not know, but I've always had it, and I've had it in a way that is so like a primal fear. I think it has been there even before she came. So it's a very primal fear that I would be abandoned by my closest people, and I have really shown that dark side to all those who have been in a deep relationship with me. Not friends.
No.
But equations where there is a sort of tension. They have all seen that dark side of feeling that they would abandon me, and I would want to preempt it, or either I don't give myself fully, or I do not know how to handle or receive what they are giving me, and so on. So this is, but the funny thing or the beautiful thing in this is that I have known it all along.
Yeah.
But what do you do with it, right? Because I do not know my bright side, what they see.
No.
So I'm questioning. I mean, I'm such a crappy person. Why would anyone want to be with me? Because this is my construct.
It's so strong for you.
Exactly. So this journey from working with my shadows, where I'm really close friends with my shadows, and to cross over and accept the light that others seem to be seeing in me, it has been extremely difficult. To kind of embrace joy and to understand that it's not illusion, that it's true. It is the light is actually coming from me, out of me, and it is there. It's there and it's shining. And to accept it and to understand it and to embrace it, it's been not easy at all. It was much easier to work with the shadows. Even today, I think I am deeply, easily attracted to shadows over light. I love photography. I like shadows more than light. So it's a very instinctive response to darkness. I am drawn to people who have a little bit of darkness in them. Because, I mean, it's probably some kind of empathizing, or it's an understanding that kindred spirit and so on. And I think that all of us have it. There is a dark side in all of us.
Yes.
And it's
For
not
sure.
It's not bad, it's not wrong,
No.
it's not, it's there is evil. That's different.
Exactly.
I'm not
We
talking
don't-
about
no,
that.
exactly. We don't talk
but
about
I'm talking about the spectrum. And that spectrum is a spectrum. It's not two independent balances. So so in that sense, it's been a process of falling in love with my bright side, actually, contrary to what
the dark side.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious about how have you been working with both sides? So you are very comfortable with your shadow, and also you know that it triggers you, and you have been reacting, but then you said that you, or did I misunderstand, that you started to work with that a little bit? Or is it still so that now I know the trigger will come, and it comes, and You don't regulate, or where are you?
I think this is impossible to explain without touching on the story of my life, in the sense that 2020 to 2024, and this is probably a luxury that many people do not have.
No, it's a good way of seeing it.